Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be providing a market analysis on Bitcoin, and I'll be specifically talking about the RSI, or Relative Strength Index, for Bitcoin on the weekly chart. I'm going to be covering the longer term RSI downtrend as well as the bullish divergence playing out here on the most recent weekly candle close. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, feel free to check out our sponsors in the link in the description below. This channel is partnered with ftx.us. So the first thing I want to focus on here is this longer term decline and downtrend on the RSI. You can see that we had this first initial peak back here in January of 2021. That corresponded to this move, this first leg up to around $42,000. So the RSI peaked around 95, and then ever since then, it has been in a longer term decline, a longer term downtrend with lower highs. This next lower high was formed on this move back up to around 57,000. The RSI reached a value of around 89. And then later on, when we had the November 2021 peak, the RSI reached a value of around 69. And then we did have this move back up on the RSI later on in March. We reached a value of around 53 on the RSI, and then Bitcoin, that corresponded to the move back up to around $48,000, forming this longer term lower high. Now you can see that the RSI is starting to get back up to this trend line, and it's much more important to consider the fact that what we want to see is a break of this downtrend as opposed to just the actual line it represents, because you can always adjust these lines. You can see I actually have drawn two of them because there's really no best fit. I'm just using these to illustrate the downtrend, and what I want to see is that downtrend break. So as an example, if we were to say go out into the next few months, if the RSI starts to come back up and then form this new uptrend, that would be a great sign, and that's something that could potentially lead Bitcoin to a longer term cycle low. But if the RSI continues to form this similar trend where potentially we reject off of this and then just form a lower low, continuing the longer term downtrend, this is sort of the event and the scenario that could send Bitcoin down on another leg lower to, say, hypothetically the 10 to 15K range. So definitely something to watch out for and something to keep in mind into the next few months. And another thing that we're going to be looking at is the RSI divergence. Now, divergence is when the RSI is moving in one direction, but the closing price is moving in a different direction. So to better see this divergence, I want to zoom in here to our current weekly candles. And notice how on this weekly candle, we just had a close of around $18,800. So that is the lowest close that we've had on Bitcoin in several months. And that does represent a downtrend on the closing price. So I'm going to draw that here. And also notice how the RSI has been in an uptrend. Okay, so when we had this close back in June, around $19,300, the RSI reached a low of around 25. So the RSI has been in an uptrend since that time frame, but the closing price has formed lower lows. So that is the bullish divergence, and that's basically what's playing out here. And bullish divergence typically shows us when the downtrend is starting to weaken, when the momentum is starting to slow down, and the oscillator is not forming lower lows because it's not as oversold. Bears are starting to lose their edge, and that's typically what concludes a downtrend. Now, this obviously could be invalidated, and Bitcoin could certainly have a move lower, and the RSI could form a lower low, and something like that would definitely invalidate the bullish divergence. So if you do see in the next few weeks an RSI value that comes in below 25, which is the current low set back in June 27th, the week of June 27th, if the RSI comes back below that area, then this does invalidate the bullish divergence, and that would mean that we no longer have this trend playing out, but rather I would start to look to this longer term downtrend and look at this as yet another rejection. So I hope you guys did enjoy this content and the analysis on the RSI for Bitcoin. As always, make sure to check out our sponsors in the link in the description below. This channel is partnered with ftx.us. I hope you guys enjoyed the content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.